Check your clock. 7:34. Says right, where is it? Right over there. Over. Boop. That's what time it is. 7:34 from WCCO. Of course, if you're watching this at 8:26, you're like, what's this clown talking about? Nice to have you with us today. We love doing our digital news update. Really appreciate all of you guys checking us out every morning, every weekday morning here at 7:34. Let's get you a weather forecast. It's going to be nice again today. Spotty showers. Yep. You know, if you're downtown at 6:30 this morning, all of a sudden it started raining and then stopped. So there's some of that action going on out there. But for the most part, today's going to be comfortable. 78 should be your high. Dry evening ahead. So if you've got plans for a patio or grilling in the backyard, it should be perfect. Let's talk about this. Starting today, Minnesota youth sports are back in the game. This is big news for 12-year-old Sam DeRusha. He's in soccer camp this week at Maplebrook, up in Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, and he gets to scrimmage finally. State is officially allowing games and scrimmages. You know, there's been practice happening outside, but just drills. But soccer, baseball, football, yep, you can play ball today. Indoor sports need to hold off until at least July 1st. But both indoor and outdoor sports are allowed to have full team practices again, so not just the 10 or 25 or whatever the rules have been. So we want to hear from you. Are you ready for your kids to play sports again? Are you concerned? Are you excited? What are your kids doing or grandkids? Let us know on Facebook, WCCO TV's Facebook page. Read a comment. We'll share through some of these in a moment. Update you on the news, and it was another deadly night on the streets of Minneapolis. Man, this shooting just has to stop. It is out of control right now. Around 6:15 last night, police say somebody shot a guy near Aldrich Avenue North and North 1st Avenue. That man died later at the hospital. At this point, police have not released any other details. Police telling us 79 shooting incidents reported in the city since Memorial Day. Police department says 112 people have been shot during that time. 8 have died. We do often see crime go up in the summer as temperatures warm up and people go out again. But the Minneapolis City Council president calling this spat of violence unacceptable. In a statement to WCCO, Lisa Bender said, ending violence requires whole community solutions, including community safety strategies that are currently in place but lack resources to cover all of the needs. Previously, Bender and a majority of City Council have called to abolish and defund the police department. To do that, voters would have to change the city charter. We're told we could learn more about that process on Friday, so watch for that as well. Obviously, police not defunded right now, and that doesn't seem to be doing much to stop crime. Full police funding. Anyway, how about St. Paul? The school board in St. Paul, following the footsteps of what they did in Minneapolis. A lot of this has been led by students saying, you know what, we don't think our schools should be paying to have police officers stationed in our buildings. And the St. Paul School Board, even though many school board members have said, hey, we have a great relationship with the police, the officers are great, but they voted 5-1 to end the contract, so 7 school resource officers from St. Paul high schools out of there by June 30th. Superintendent has to come up with a safety plan. Details will come at the August Board of Education meeting. Minnesota's Department of Health reported 9 new deaths yesterday, bringing the state total to nearly 1,400. That's out of more than 33,000 cases. In Wisconsin, 750 people have died out of 25,000 cases. Cases seem to be flattening a bit here in Minnesota, right? Those numbers are down significantly from the peak that we had about a month ago. But this is a little concerning. Nearly 200 Twin Cities Amazon employees throughout this have tested positive for COVID-19. Minnesota Health Department reporting 187 cases traced to Amazon employees. The majority are 88 employees at the Shakopee Center. That's a big distribution center just off the highway there. There's 1,000 people who work over there. Other positive cases were reported at Amazon in Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, and Eagan. Most of the employees got sick in May, okay, so that's when that happened. Some cases started in April. There are a couple coming in June as well. From manufacturing plants to neighborhood cafes, movie theaters, we know that COVID-19 has been hurting Minnesota businesses so hard and such a sacrifice that the government asked these businesses to shut down to keep us all safe. Through this process, more than 24 restaurants in the Twin Cities, 24 locations, have permanently closed their doors because of COVID-19. You see the Egg and I there, Bachelor Farmer, all the bonfires. Health crisis has cost those restaurants probably the most in profits, but other places that rely on foot traffic like salons and barbershops, they're having their problems too, and the experts tell us it's likely they'll continue to suffer.
that there are certain kinds of economic activity that require fairly close physical contact. And those are the kinds of activities that are also most likely to spread infectious diseases. So those are the kinds of activities that have taken the biggest hit.
Minnesota's Department of Employment and Economic Development tracks closings and layoffs monthly. In April alone, more than 5,000 Minnesotans lost their job because of a closing or a mass layoff, 1,600 in May. But the big statistic, since mid-March, nearly 8,000 Minnesotans have applied for unemployment benefits. Hopefully, a lot of those people are going to be able to go back to work. Summer and baseball go together like peanut butter and jelly. Finally, major league teams are going to take the field again. Yeah, we are just about a month away, it sounds like. Players Union, I will confess, I got this one wrong. I thought there was no way that this was ever going to happen, but it looks like they've agreed to a 60-game schedule. Training starts July 1st. Games will start the 23rd or 24th. Twins will train and play at Target Field, likely without fans. Separation anxiety in your pet. Are you worried about this as more people head back to work? Recent survey from Rover.com found 58% of pet owners are worried about this. It's understandable. You've been hanging out with your pet 24/7. At first, the pet was like, what is this weirdo doing in my house all day? Now, the pets have become used to it. Veterinary behaviorist Dr. Amy Pike says you got to prep your pets in advance. She suggests stick to a workday routine. While working at home, have a separate office away from your pet and practice the idea of leaving the house.
You can go on a walk by yourself. You can go run errands without your pet. You know, you need to remind them that we do, in fact, leave the home occasionally.
Experts say you got to watch for those potential signs of stress. You know this if you're a pet owner, right? You see a change in behavior. You see maybe like panting, pacing, whining, scratching at the door. Pike suggests, you know, if you want, you can use a pet camera to monitor behavior. For sure. You know, it just depends where you are on the spectrum of worry about these sorts of things. Money Watch this morning. Remember when the Segway was going to change the world? This was going to absolutely... Hey, it's our old friend Kylie Burris there. That's from when Kylie and I went on a little Segway tour of the city. I tell you what, it was a lot of fun. China-based Ninebot acquired Segway in 2015. They're going to stop making these things on July 15. Segway PT made a splash in December of 2001. Its inventor at the time, it was a big launch. Wasn't it Good Morning America? It was like this reveal. The invention that's going to change the world. And mostly it's just like people use these in warehouses and then it doesn't get cooler than that, let me tell you, when you're zipping around the city on one of those. $6,000. I'll tell you, after I took the tour, I looked up and like, how much does it cost to buy one of these things? Because it was fun. All right, some people get nervous performing on stage. Myself, no nerves. Nerves of steel. Right here is what I ain't afraid of nothing. But if you are a little afraid to perform, perhaps this is the time. There are no people really allowed in theaters. Still, though, this particular string quartet did have an audience to impress. Yep, fig and ficus trees. Theater in Barcelona filled with almost 2,300 plants. I know what you're thinking. Why? Well, it's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Spain is coming out of its coronavirus lockdown. Country will be allowing cultural venues to host performances again soon, and the Opera House says they hope this concert reminds people to get closer to nature as they return to normal activity. As for the plants in attendance, don't worry, they won't be wasted. They'll be donated to healthcare workers, where undoubtedly those healthcare workers will be too busy at the hospital and at work, and all of these plants will die. Is that too dark? Was that too dark?
I was going to say, like an audience of 2,000 plants or 2,000 randomly selected people, which one would appreciate classical music more?
Wow. Wow. Anybody else want to take a shot? What do you think? Just, you know what, I've missed...
I say that as a classic music fan.
Yes, I've missed, you know, it's been about 6 hours since I had people bombarding me with negative comments in Facebook, so I figure let's start it up again.
You're not doing your job.
All right, let's do this. Let's hear what you have to say about youth sports. Starting up again today in Minnesota. We asked you if you're ready. The Utes.
Oscar says, nope, you crazy.
Yeah? Ain't that right, Oscar? You got that right on the money.
We crazy.
I don't know what he's talking about particularly, but it's true. I am crazy.
Charles says wait until the infection average is going down. It is here, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, our new cases have been really low, I think. Deaths have been very low. Mm-hmm. So I think we're on the right track. I know there's fear. I worry about opening up too quickly, but it seems like outdoor activity, boy, we had the greatest test imaginable, right, with all of the protests out there, and it seems that they're nothing.
I think that's the key. If it's outdoors, it's
outdoors. I feel real safe
safer,
outdoors, yeah.
Joseph says right on time. I'm not sure if that's what sports arriving or the 7:34 starting at 7:34.
Yeah. Probably starting on. Sometimes I'm late. I think what people are saying
You
is,
have been late.
I have been late. All right. Well, thanks for that, everybody.
Right on time.
Right on time. It's 7:44. So what we're going to do now is say good day.
Thanks for your 10 minutes.